to Talking Sports with GBO and Ant. My name is Charles Gilbert, but before we get started on today's show, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, click the bell to get notified when we put out a new video. On today's show, we will have some special guests to give their predictions of the college football national championship game. I've got Brian here with me. He actually is a Clemson student, and I've got a few questions to ask him for showing the guns off for you guys. But I'm going to ask him a few questions about Monday night's national championship game between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Alabama Crimson Tide. So, Brian, first question I got for you, who you rolling with Monday night?
And we're rolling with the Alabama Crimson Tide.
So, Brian is going with the Alabama Crimson Tide. So, why you select the Tide for, Brian?
I think it's going to be an offensive game, and I don't think the Bulldogs are going to be able to keep up with the air raid that the Crimson Tide is going to give them.
All right, so you think Bryce Young's going to have a good performance Monday night?
I think he is. I think he's my MVP for sure.
All right, so that was going to be my next question. Who you rolling with the MVP? So he selected Bryce Young. So we got the over/under coming in this game at 52. So what do what's your prediction of the score?
I think it's definitely going to be over. I think it's going to be a 42-28 ball game
Woo!
with Crimson Tide.
42-28.
Oh, yeah.
So high scoring affair Monday night. So Brian, we appreciate you coming on the show. Look forward to having you again.
All right.
Now I have Locks by Jordan with me. He's going to give his predictions on the championship game Monday night. So Jordan, who you going with?
Unfortunately, hard to say it for me, but I'm going with the Alabama Crimson Tide.
He's rolling with the Tide Monday night. What's a couple of reasons why you going Tide?
I think Georgia, they got a great defense, had the best defense in college football that we've seen in a while. But I've seen the poise from Bryce Young all year. Guy never gets nervous, never shows any emotion out there, really confident. And I think that they'll have something for the Georgia defense. I think they'll be able to throw it deep. Just got to get it out of hand kind of quick.
All right, so there's some reasons. Who you rolling with in terms of MVP in this game?
I'm going Bryce Young there as well. I think he'll be able to get out of the pocket, throw it. He's trouble when he gets out of the pocket.
All right, so give me a prediction of this score.
I'm going to go 31-28 Crimson Tide.
31-28, so close ball game. Should be a good game. So Locks by Jordan here with us today. Thanks for being part of the show.
Yep.
We'll have you again. Now I've got Kyle with me. He's going to give his prediction of the national championship game Monday night. So Kyle, who's going to win this game? Is it going to be Georgia Bulldogs or the Alabama Crimson Tide?
I like the Crimson Tide. I don't think you're going to be able to stop Bryce Young. Georgia's defense might show up a little bit better than they did, but I still don't think they're going to be able to stop him. I say it's 28-17. I say Bryce Young has 3 of those passes for a touchdown. And I don't see Georgia showing. I mean, they had their chance. So.
Right. So Kyle's going with the Tide, 28-17 predicted score.
Yep.
Remember the over/under in this one's 52. So who's going to be your MVP in this game?
I say Young.
So Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, Heisman Trophy winner. They already had their shot and they didn't do it. So I see him getting 3 touchdown passes at least.
All right. So there's your prediction from Kyle. Kyle, we appreciate you being on the show. We'll have you again.
Peace out.
Thanks. All right, now we got Corey with us. Corey, we got a big football game coming up Monday night.
A little bit.
Between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Alabama Crimson Tide. So who you rolling with Monday night?
This was Georgia's year to lose it. They do what they typically do and choke. So
What they say is they Kirby it up.
Oh, they Kirby it up because Kirby does any assistant that's worked with Saban in the past he owns. That's all there is to it. And Georgia, I think, has one of the greatest defenses of all time in one season in college football. But it still comes down to Kirby choking against Nick Saban.
Right.
So It's gonna be a blowout.
Oh, blowout.
Blowout.
Wow. Okay.
It'll be close early, and then Bama just opens it up late. I think Bama goes 44, and Georgia goes 17.
Wow. Really over.
Well, it's going to come down to that fourth quarter where Bama just runs away with it. Or, I play both sides of the fence, so I always come out on top. Everybody gets sucked in.
He's playing the middle here.
Everybody gets sucked into picking Bama, and then Georgia plays a game of their lifetime to win the national title. It's one of the two, and it'll be close. But right now, I see it 44-17, Bama over Georgia. Absolute domination again. To the point where if the championship game had went the other way, the SEC championship game had went the other way, I would think different. But I really don't have too much hype for this game because Bama, once again, is just going to dominate.
Who you got rolling with the MVP now?
I'm going to pick the running back. Everybody wants to pick Bryce Young.
Robinson.
I'm going to go with Robinson as running back.
I think that's a good pick because Robinson's been there for a long time at the University of Alabama, had a really good performance against Cincinnati, over 200 yards rushing. So he's healthy too, So too, I expect a huge performance from Robinson myself. So Robinson's a good pick in terms of MVP. So Corey's got 44 Alabama, Georgia 17.
Right.
So Corey, appreciate you being on the show. Till next time.
Boom.
Now we've got Brandon with us. Brandon, we got a big football game coming up Monday night between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs for the College Football National Championship. So who you got in this game?
Tell you what, Charles, I'm going to go Alabama Crimson Tide.
Rolling with the Tide.
Why
are you rolling with the Nick Sabans?
I'm not rolling with the Tide because that's the thing to do. The reason why I'm doing it is because their track record against Georgia. They have Georgia's number, and for whatever reason, even if they're down 2-3 touchdowns, they always find a way to come back. They got Georgia's number. They're really good at readjusting at halftime if they're not beating Georgia already.
Right.
And they got their number, and I think that's going to continue in this matchup.
Okay, so Brandon's going with the Tide on Monday night. So who you going with in terms of your MVP in this game?
I think Young's going to have a big game. I think so, and I know it's typical of Alabama quarterback, but I think he's going to have a big game. They got a lot of pieces around him,
right?
A lot of good pieces, and I think he's going to come out there and show out and have a big game. And even if it's late, the second half, he's going to end up putting up some numbers. And I think that's just the way it's going to go.
Yeah. Okay. So he's going Young, MVP, Heisman Trophy winner. In the last rematch with Georgia, threw for over 400 yards, had 3 touchdowns, no picks. So what's your scoring prediction in this game? I'm
going to go because I think what I feel like is going to happen on this, I think it's going to be a little different than the first matchup because I think Georgia's got a little bit of fire under them, and I think they're going to come out swinging. But I think ultimately it's going to come down, and Alabama's going to rally back. If not, maintain a good lead, but I think it's going to come down 34-28. I think it's going to be a little bit of a nail biter, but I also think it's going to be kind of decisive in the last few minutes of the game.
Yep. 34-28. That's the prediction there from Brandon. So, guys, there you go. Brandon, thanks for being on the show.
Yes, sir.
We'll have to do it again.
All right, we'll do it again.
All right, guys, now we got Zach on the show with us today. Zach, say hi to everybody.
Hey, how y'all doing?
So today we're going to talk about the Monday night big game between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Alabama Crimson Tide. So who you got in the national championship game?
I'm going for the Crimson Tide. Got to.
All right, so Zach's rolling with the Tide. What's some of the reasons why you selecting the Tide?
I think just continuing to the last game, I think that Georgia's not going to step up where they need to, and then Alabama's just going to move it down the field on them for sure.
All right, so there's some reasons why there too. Who are you looking for in terms of MVP?
I think Bryce Young is going to show out once again. He threw up 321 yards in the last game, and I think he might even do even more this game for sure.
So so Zach's going to go with the Tide. He's going to go with Bryce Young as MVP. Also in the last game, Georgia had 0 sacks on Bryce Young, which was a big factor in that football game. So what kind of scoring prediction you got? Over-unders 52. So what you got in the score?
So yeah, so for the last score was 41-24. I think it's going to be pretty close to the same score, if not higher. I'm thinking maybe 45-28, something like that. So yeah, that's definitely going to be a shootout, but not as close as everybody thinks.
Okay. All right. So there you go. 35-28. Zach's got the game. Zach, appreciate you coming on the show.
problem, man.
Until next time. All right, guys. Now we got Matt with us.
How's it going, fellas?
Matt, you doing all right today?
I'm doing pretty good, Charles. How about you?
Doing good, sir. Doing good. Glad you came on the show today with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, yeah. So today we're going to talk about the College Football National Championship game Monday night at Lucas Oil Stadium. So a big game between the Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs. Who you got in this game?
Well, sir, I'm tired of everybody saying when we go to play, who's going to beat Crimson Tide this year? I'm ready for them to lose.
You and me
I want
both.
the Bulldogs
You
to
and me
do
both.
it.
Yes, I would like to see the Bulldogs do it as well. Kirby's due, as long as you don't Kirby it up. You know what I mean?
We can only hope.
That's right. That's right. So in this game, so why are you selecting the Bulldogs?
Because I like to see the underdogs finally win.
Okay, that's good.
Clemson's beat them a couple times. Ohio State, everybody, but
You feel
Crimson
it's-
Tide needs to have that tide just roll over.
Right.
We're done with it.
Okay, so you feel like it's time for Georgia, since it's been since 1980 since they've won the national championship. So you feel like it's Georgia's time.
They do deserve it, don't they?
If they win Monday night, they definitely do. So.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the scoring prediction you got for this game? Now keep in mind, over/under in this game is 52. So in the last game was 41-24 Alabama.
I can't exactly predict the score, but it's going to be in the 30s, Georgia all the way.
In the 30s, Georgia all the way. So there you go, guys. Out of all the guests that we've had, we finally got one Bulldog that has picked the Georgia Bulldogs for the national championship. So Matt, appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you, sir.
Till next time. That's it for this show. I want to thank all my special guests for coming on and going through their predictions for the national championship game this Monday. We'll see you guys on the next show.